All right. Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to the Crypto Cow Mining Farm Business Training. And I'm your host, Tim Mai. Thank you so much for, for trusting in me and in this training and signing up for this training. Yeah, it was an honor to share with you guys, everything I've learned about mining so far, and things I continue to learn, and and meet you guys up in Dallas there. So hope you had a great last couple weeks, and I know some of you guys went traveling after that event, so that's really awesome. And I hope now you're ready to make some money with mining. So again, welcome and congratulations. Okay, there's 6 modules in this training, and the way that works is that we're gonna cover 1 module per week, and as we go through each module, uh, you know, do send me emails if you have further questions, like in between. In between the training, as you have more questions as you implement, do send me an emails. You know, I'll either answer it to you specifically if it's something specific. Otherwise, I'll make sure it's part of the training. And then I've also just set up a Discord um, server for us to communicate on as well, because I know that Bitcoin Mentor Club uses Discord a lot, and so I figured you guys probably already have that system. So we'll just use that. So that way, in between the weeks, if you have any questions, we can address it there. Okay. All right. So what can you expect from this training? You can expect that by the end of this training, you become a mining expert. And especially if by the end of this training, you would have already have some mining machines running, then it would take your training to a whole new level, and you'll be able to understand the things that I'm talking about, and the challenges that you go through, and I can help you navigate that. You get to learn a lot when you have the actual hardware as well. If you don't have the hardware, you get to learn the background information of it, but it's nothing like being able to experience it. And one thing I just have this idea, and we might we might do it where, as a bonus, I put one of my mining machines to mine to one of your wallets, or one of your mining pools for a day, just so you can experience it at least virtually if you don't have one. So let me figure out at what module we'll do that. Yeah, so, and it'll be similar to what we'll be talking about today, called cloud mining. Okay, so like I said, um, my goal is that by the end of this training, you become a mining expert, whether you own the machines, or you've done some type of cloud mining or mining on your computer, and that you get all of your questions. Any help that you need around mining, we'll address that. So if it's something I forget to cover on one of these trainings, feel free to reach out to me. I'm gonna help you, however I can, and so that's my goal. Okay. Now, what I expect of you is that I expect you to actually implement. Okay. So don't just learn, because mining has a lot to do with hardware, software, configurations. So if you just learn information, but you don't actually have any hardware to configure with, the information won't be as valuable. And so one way or another, I would like to see, I'd like to see you put, basically put it to work, I guess. So that's my expectation of you. Okay. So I do want to see you mine one way or another. All right. Communications. So this is the Discord server that I've set up. So I hope you can see the link okay. discord.gg/RQAJ, the number 8GC. So connect me with me on that server. My email address is timmai, the number 2 @gmail.com. You might be able to find me on Discord as well. I put my nickname as Tim Mai, TIMMAI. So if you connect me there, I can send you the link through that as well. I will be sending out the recording of this, the replay, I guess, the recording of this video as well, and these resources. So it'll be in your email also. Okay. Okay. Let me see here. And so welcome. So looks like we have 10 of you on right now. Barbara, Bradley, Brooks, Dave, David, Doug, Frank, Lauren, Lynn, Sherry. Welcome, y'all. It's awesome to see you on. Okay. So now, just quick introduction on mining. What is mining? Mining is a process in cryptocurrency. How cryptocurrency, I guess, come into circulation is through this process called mining, or how Bitcoin, which is what started all the cryptocurrency, come into circulation is through mining. There's two ways that you get paid when you do mining. I guess another way to say mining is data processing or computing power. So imagine this. Imagine you have a computer at home, and I said, hey, if you let me rent your computing power for your computer when you're not using it, I will pay you some money. And so that process of me renting your computer's computing power and paying you money is called mining. Okay, that's, I guess, a simple way to say it. But what mining does for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency that it mines is that it solves these complex algorithms to add more blocks to the blockchain, to make the blockchain more secure. And so that's a very important process, right? Because if the blockchain is not secure, then someone can crack it. Someone can hack into crack the encryption, and then blockchain would be useless. And so this is why mining is important, because the more miners out there, the more computers and machines out there doing the mining, the stronger the system becomes. It's like, for example, let's say if you only have 100 people who are doing mining, okay, then that system is very easy to hack. A company like Google can put their servers to work and hack that system, or crack the cryptography, I guess, very easily, right? However, because we have millions of computers and machines out there mining, it's almost impossible for one company or one country to have enough computing power to decode and to be able to crack the blockchain. Okay, so that's why it's so important that we have a lot more miners out there. It just makes the whole the whole technology more powerful. And decentralizing it's also important, so that way you don't have any one company or one nation control the whole um, blockchain, or control the whole cryptocurrency. Um, Now, there are big companies out there right now that has been mining Bitcoin for a while. They hold a pretty big, market share, I guess. They hold a lot of Bitcoin, so they have a lot of power. So it's not, so Bitcoin is not as decentralized as we would like for it to be, uh, because of these big players like Genesis Mining, like Bitman, Bitfury. Those are big companies that owns a lot of Bitcoin. But the more of us get involved, the more of us do mining, the more decentralized it becomes. Okay. Okay. So I talk about adding the blocks to the blockchain as one process of mining. Another process to mining is when there's when our computer process a transaction. So, for example, if I'm sending you some Bitcoin, okay, if I'm sending you some Bitcoin, and and the there has to be computers behind the scene that process that transaction, goes from me to you, and all the verifications that happens in the middle of that. Okay. So that process is also called mining. And as a miner, or these computers, these machines that are mining, they get paid that transaction fee. And so that's the second way that they make money, is through the transaction fee. The first way they make money is by adding blocks into the blockchain, and then they get a reward for it. So each time a block is found, then you get a reward for that. Okay. All right. So that's a little. Do you guys have any questions so far about what mining is? Anytime you have questions, feel free to type it in, and and as I go through it, I can answer it. Okay. Any questions so far? All right. I take that as a no. Okay. Next, we're gonna talk about hash rate. Um, depending on what type of coin that you're mining, it requires different different levels of hash rate. Okay. Hash um, you know Hashes basically represent the number of cryptocurrency mining computation performed in 1 second. Okay. So that's called a hash rate. So in the crypto mining, you hear hash rate a lot. So hash. Okay. The 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 more popular a coin, I guess, the more difficult it is to mine a coin, the higher hash rate is required to mine that coin. So, for example, right now, Bitcoin is the hardest coin to mine, and so the hash rate when we're talking about mining Bitcoin is generally is in terahash. Okay. So like let's say one Bitcoin mining machine, like an Antminer S9, will have 13 to 14 terahash. Okay. A Litecoin machine, on the other hand, that's not as difficult to mine. It's still in the mega hash right now. So like an Antminer L3, it's at 504 mega hash. Okay. Um, so 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 these different numbers that you see here will vary, will be different, depending on which algorithm you're using, and which coins you're mining. Okay, because different coins choose to use different technology, different algorithm, and so that's why their hash rates will be different. Okay. When you're calculating like the different in price between one hardware versus another, it's good to learn to calculate, well, how much does that cost per mega hash, or how much does that cost per terahash, right? So if let's say if an Antminer S9, for example, let's say if it costs $1,500, and it is a 14 terahash, then you're looking at paying $107 per terahash. So if you were to compare an Antminer with another brand, like an Avalon, for example, and yeah, and so you, at the end of the day, there's a balance between getting, because the data hash, or the hash rate, is basically what translate into how much coins you're going to earn per day. Okay. And so there's a balance between how much power that machine uses with how much it earns, and how much sort of space it takes up. Not necessarily physical space, but like, for example, I'd rather have one machine where it only takes up one electrical plug, um, that that may be more expensive, but it can produce 2 times the amount of cryptocurrency, let's say Bitcoin, 2 times the amount of Bitcoin, than having two machines that takes up two electrical plugs, um, you know, uh, for that same amount of Bitcoin mined, right? Because if I'm only using up one electrical plug, then I can have more machines, and I'll show you in a little bit here, of my farm here, and I'm gonna walk you guys down where I'm at. But yeah, like when it's one thing when you only have it's one thing when you only have a few machines, the space, the amount of power, those things are not as important. But if you want to grow this into like a real full-blown business like I have, then you have to take those things in consideration. When I started out with 10 machines, I mean, it really didn't matter. Because I wasn't maxing out my power, I wasn't maxing out my space, I wasn't maxing out my airflow. I didn't have to worry about all of those things. But with over 100 machines, I have to worry about those things. Okay. Um, all right. Brooks asked, what is the power requirement per electrical plug? It depends on the power it depends on the machines that you buy. An L3, for example, will run on 110 volts at roughly about 8 watts, and it will run on 220 volt at roughly about 4 watts. An S9 will not run on 110. There's not enough power for 110 unless you get a step-up transformer. But on 220, and when I say 220, this can range anywhere from 208 to 240. Okay, because depending on your house, your country, those numbers varies a little bit. But the common is 208, 210, 220, 215, 240. But so for the sake of simplicity, I'll just say 220 and 110. Okay. And yeah, and so that's um, where am I? Yeah, so that's about power. And then we're going to talk about hardware here pretty soon, and as you go, as you figure out what type of hardware that you're going to use, then that's when the power will come in place. And like I said, if you're just buying like 10 machines or less, you're not going to have to worry too much about power, really. Okay. Frank asks, in Dallas, you mentioned buying equipment from you. Is that still an option? The answer is yes, Frank. And I'll share about pricing and stuff like that as well. All right. So types of mining. Solo mining is where you're not joining together with other people, or at least not any one specific company. Like, let's say a small group of us can come together and solo mine together. That would be fine. But solo mining, it's meant to be used for, like, if a company or a small group of people don't want to join into a big group of people, and they just want to mine themselves, so that way if they get the reward, they can keep all of the reward. They don't have too many people to split with. Okay, it's like winning the it's like winning the lotto by yourself, winning the lottery by yourself versus winning the lottery with a lot of people, right? Now, it's funny. The lottery is a good example. Now, if you're solo mining, if you only buy one lottery ticket, your chance of winning is much smaller, right? Than if you pull in, or let's say instead of buying one lottery ticket, which is kind of like one machine, right? You buy, say, 100 machines, which means you buy 100 lottery tickets. Then now your chance of winning the lottery is higher because you have 100 machines working for you. Okay, your chance of getting reward is higher, but it's also risky too because you might not get any at all. Okay, and versus a mining pool. Mining pool is where a lot of people get together. So instead of me buying 100 lottery ticket, for example, I join in a group of 1 million people. And even if each one of us only bought one lottery ticket, it's pretty much guaranteed that one of us will win the lotto, uh, will win the lottery, and that money will be divided among everyone that's in that group. Okay, so that's how mining pools work. So millions of people, or at least hundreds of people or computers that are combining together to do this mining and share in the rewards of it. Okay. And there are companies that are called mining pools. Those company has the software to facilitate grouping of all the people in like that. And they typically will charge anywhere from 1% to 3% as their fee to facilitate that. Okay. And so that's a mining pool. All right. So now cloud mining. Cloud mining is where you don't own the computer, and I'm gonna go to a website here that you'll be able to see all of that. But yeah, so where instead of buying the hardware, buying an actual computer, you're just buying a mining contract. So let's say forget about a website. Let's say you tell me, you said, hey, Tim, I want to just test this out. Instead of having to spend, a couple grand for a mining machine, for, like, let's say a Bitcoin mining machine. Let's say instead of paying, um, $2,000 for a mining machine, how about if I just pay you to a contract for 1 month? And so, so let's say I charge you, let's just say, I'm just gonna make this up. Let's say I charge you $300 to use my Bitcoin mining machine for 1 month. So that way, whatever the machine makes during that 1 month is yours to keep. Like whatever Bitcoin it makes is yours to keep. And you don't have to buy the machines. You don't have to plug in the electrical. You don't have to worry about the heat and the airflow. You don't have to worry about all of that. Kind of like your website, right? A hosting company hosted at their at their facility. They handle all the power, all the internet. And for you, as long as your website's up and running, that's all that matters to you. You don't have to have that server in your house. So mining works the same way, or cloud mining works pretty much exactly the same way as web hosting. And so you just pay them either a yearly fee, a 6-month fee, or monthly fee, depending on what you set up with them. And that's so that's cloud mining. Okay. So earlier, I think before I pressed recorded, I talked about like maybe what I might do for some, for you guys, just so that way you can experience it for a day. Is I'll put one of my machines to do cloud mining for you for a day. And just so you can experience it. The only thing is I can't let you log in, log into the machines. I would have to configure it for you, but you get to see how machine is doing when you log into your mining pool. Okay. Versus when you own your own machines, then you can log into the machine and do the configurations. I don't know how techy you want to get, but that's the thing. Good thing, a good thing about cloud mining is that it takes all of the tech work out of the way. Okay. All right. So now, let me see here. So the different types of hardware to mine. You can start as simple as, like, right now you're all sitting on I'm assuming you are using your computer to access this webinar right now. Some of you might be on your phone, but most likely you are on the computer. So I'm going to switch over to show you. Okay, so CPU, you can start mining. CPU is basically your computer. GPU is your video card. It doesn't have to be a gaming video card, but the gaming video cards are the ones that have enough computing power to do mining. And then ASICs are the machines that I show you guys up in Dallas. They're made specifically just for mining and nothing more. Okay. So now I'm going to show you. Let me see here. See if you can see my. All right. You should be able to see my Chrome now. I don't know if you can see. Can you see this? Okay. So, if you have Chrome, okay, if you have Chrome and you go and add extensions, okay, you go here, you go to the web store to add extensions. And I'm trying to, okay, let me go to the web store. There you go. All right. So, let's say you type in Bitcoin mining, okay? You'll see different extensions. You can use CryptoTab is a good extension to get. It's more it has more control than this Bitcoin miner one. But if you know, just to play around, you can do that. So let's say if I want to mine on this very computer that I have the webinar on with you right now, which is probably not recommended, but let's try. Okay, so let's say I turn the mining on. I'll just turn it into medium. Okay, so you can see it's mining now. Okay, I haven't mined much on it, and so so that's why you saw my earning is very little because this is my computer, not meant to be used as a mining machine. But as you can see here, so I have it on about middle right now. It's running at about 30 plus hash per second. Okay. Let's see if I max it, how much it's gonna go. Okay, it's jumping here 40. Can you guys see this? Okay, this number down here in the bottom. Let me. Okay, it's running 40 something hash per second. 44. Yeah, so it's running about 42 to 44 hash per second. I'm going to load it down. Actually, I'm going to turn it off so it doesn't slow down my computer for this presentation. But I'm not sure if you can hear it, but I can start hearing my fan running. So if I keep it on max, my fan will be running like crazy. Oh, you know what I should have done? Here, let me do this again. Let me put it on max. And let's go to my monitor here. Let's see what my CPU usage will be. So as you can see earlier, before we ran the mining machine, my CPU usage was down here, right? And then now that it's running, like this is when it was running half, remember? And then this is when I maxed it out, and then this is when I turn it off, and then this is when I resume at max again. So it's running the CPU all the way, as you can see. So if I reduce this down again, let's redo this. Hold on, let me try something. Make sure that you can see. Okay, you should be able to see my entire screen now. Did you guys see this when I was talking about this? So no, okay. Well, you can see it now, right? This CPU load right here. Okay. Great. All right. So as you can see, so before I started mining on this computer, my CPU load was down here, and then when I put it to like medium, my CPU load increased up here. When I put it to max, my CPU load increased up here, and then when I turned it off, it dropped back down. And then when I put it on max again to show you, you know, it went up here, and then I reduce it, now it's here. So if I turn it off again, then, yeah, if I turn it off again, then, oops, wrong one. Yeah. So notice the CPU is dropping down again. And I can hear, you know, when I have it on max, I can hear my fan on my computer here running. Okay, see that? Cool, huh? So I would like for you to, you know, you can do it right now if you want, and add this crypto tab. Yeah, I'll copy this URL for you guys. Let me message it here. Or you can do it after this training is over. Okay. And I was playing around with different extension, but the let me see, I believe I installed, you know, all of the mining. I installed the Bitcoin extension, as well as the here, this guy, add to Chrome, reload. Okay, so something is probably, so it probably got disabled or something. But so they have Bitcoin mining, They have Ethereum mining. Okay, so this is the plugin for Ethereum mining. Let's see here. And then they also have Litecoin mining as well. I'm sure they have more than these three, but just for the purpose of this demonstration. So this is the Litecoin mining, Litecoin miner. And then there's also plugin, some websites now, they make it where when you go to their website, they automatically, they'll automatically use your computer to mine Bitcoin with. And so there are plugins that will block that, so that way nobody can use your computer to mine Bitcoin without you initiating it yourself. Okay. All right. So there you have it. Some different extensions that you can use to put, and all of these use CPUs. Okay. There's a couple other ones that if you want to use your GPU, for example, there's one called Mac Miner. Okay. Mac Miner basically combine several different types of mining software. So I can mine with my CPU here on this computer, or I can mine with my GPU, my graphic card here on this computer by downloading this Mac Miner. In Windows, I believe it's called. Let me see here. Let me see if I put it on here or not. Nope, I did not. Windows, I think it's called Easy Miner. Let me Google it real quick. Yeah, EasyMiner.net is a Windows software similar to the Mac Miner that you can download and mine GPU instead of CPU on your computer. So now the question, let me see who asked that question. Lynn asked, where's the Bitcoin going into? So depending on the software, like in this case, the Bitcoin is staying on my computer right now. And then if I want to withdraw the Bitcoin, let me see here. If I want to withdraw the Bitcoin, I click on withdraw BTC. I don't know if you saw that or not, withdraw BTC. Or in this case, I don't have enough BTC to withdraw, but it'll give me an option to put in my wallet, my Bitcoin wallet. So if you don't have a Bitcoin wallet, sign up for an account with Coinbase, okay? And so you can have a Bitcoin wallet, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Litecoin, and then that's where you can transfer it to, okay? But yeah, all of the different computer CPU, it'll mine on the computer until you have enough to transfer it. Okay, where am I? All right. All right. I'm gonna do something very special for you guys. Okay, hold on here. Before I get into the hardware part of it, just so that way I can show you. But I am walking now let me see. I'm walking to my secret farm. Soon you're not going to be able to hear me much because of the noise that the machines make. I just want to show you, and can you see me? I just want to show you so you can see, what the machines look like. Okay. All right. So I'm walking backward here, so hopefully I don't fall. So this can you start to hear the noise of the machines yet? Okay. Once I open that door, you're gonna hear it a lot more. Okay. Okay. So these are some of my notice, like this kind. Okay. It's different from. Notice these are different. Okay. This is my mining. Okay. I have some other mining. All right. So I show you different types of machines. Um, those uh, those machines with the blue lights that you saw, they're these BW. I have the most of those. Um, at the time when I first started my mining, the BW machines were the easiest to find because the ant miners were always out of stock. So they were much harder to find. So I didn't buy the ant miners. Well, I mean, I couldn't buy a lot of ant miners, so I bought a couple hundred BWs instead. That's why you saw a lot of the BWs. And then, and then you saw. So I had some ant miners mixed in with that. We'll go through that just in a little bit. Okay, and then also show you my GPU rig as well. Let me see here. Okay, I'm gonna turn off my webcam for now. All right. So you guys like that? You like the farm? It was pretty loud, right? I couldn't really. When we were in the room, I don't know if you guys were able to hear me or not. Lynn, the Chrome extension basically allows you to practice mining from your computer. Okay, that's it. But I normally don't mind using the Chrome, the Chrome extension. I have actual machines that are made specifically for mining. I wanted to introduce the Chrome extension to you, just so that way you learn about it. But all right, we're gonna go through some hardware now. So okay, and then I'll explain what you saw in the room. There's Bitcoin, Litecoin, right? There's other types of coins. Bitcoin mining runs off of what they call a SHA-256 algorithm. Okay, these are some of the companies. There's more, but these are some of the major companies that make Bitcoin or SHA-256 algorithm mining machines. Okay, and then the Litecoin mining machines, which is what I have a lot of. Is called the script algorithm, and so these are some of the companies that makes them. So we're gonna go over to the companies now, and let's take a look at that. Okay. All right. So let's start with Bitmain first. So this is Bitmain.com. When you go here, go to Antminer. That's where you're gonna find all the machines. They have other things going on here, but the Antminer is the main thing that you're gonna focus in on. Okay. And so when you get here, you can select, are you looking for Bitcoin miners? Are you looking for Litecoin miners? Are you looking for Dash coin? Okay. And the prices that you see here change from time to time. Sometimes they go up in price, sometimes they go down in price, depending on supply and demand. So for example, back in December, if you had gone onto this website, the S9s were like $2,600 a piece. And most of the time they were not even available for you to buy. And but as you can see, the price has dropped significantly since then. And so now you can get an S9. So this here is without the power supply, without shipping, without custom. So you keep in mind that there are other costs associated to that. This price here is one with the power supply. If you buy the power supply by itself, as you can see here, it's $105 just for the power supply. The machine is $1227 here. They have different versions of the machine as well. There's a 14 terahash version. There's a 13.5 terahash version. They also have a 13 terahash version as well. They're a little bit different, but not a whole lot. Okay. But typically when people buy, they buy the highest they can. But like I said, remember about calculating dollar per terahash, right? So if you take this amount divided by 14, so for example, let's say, where is it? How can I go? Oh man. It's like when I take away my mouse, it doesn't use these numbers. All right. So so let's say, let's take this one, 1227 divided by 14. You're looking at $87.64 per terahash. Okay. So now let's go to a 13 one. Let's go to this guy, 1019 divided by 13. You're looking at $78 per terahash. So the 13 one is better dollar per terahash. Now let's calculate the 13.5 one to see if that's better. So that's 78 to 1061 divided by 13.5. 78. So about the same, right? Very little difference between this guy and this guy. Okay. Because there's not much different in price, I would get this guy. So they're cheaper than the 14. And their performance between the two of them is not really that much of a difference, half a terahash. Okay, so right now, as you can see, whenever you order from Bitman, you don't know. They'll tell you when the shipment is, and you have to wait for it. Let me see here. Yeah, but but as far as to give you a gauge of how much I sell for, I typically sell for $500 more than whatever they sell on the website. However, my price so like let's say you take this guy, I charge basically $17.27 for it, but my price already includes the power supply, the shipping, the custom. So everything is already in the U.S. A lot will depend. I mean, if I have it in stock, then it's already in the US. If I don't have it in stock, I still have to order it. But um, so that's how much I normally charge. If you order from Bitman directly, these machines come from China. And one of the things I hate about coming from China, uh, is like when it comes to warranty. It's easy to buy. You can buy it on the website, but when it comes to like if you need to get the repairs and stuff done, it's a little bit more troublesome. Of sending ticket supports to China, things like that. They recently have a company in the U.S. to service them now, but you still have to submit, all of your uh, um, trouble tickets and stuff through China. Bitman is actually not bad in customer service. Yeah, I mean, there are other companies that when you buy them, it's great, but when you need service or warranty work, they don't answer you. So that's a challenge that you're gonna have dealing with some of these Chinese company. They don't have the best customer service. But anyway, so as you can see here, you have all these different Bitcoin machines, and here's the L3, which is the Litecoin machine. T9 is also a Bitcoin machine, as well as the V9. It's just a lower, notice that their hash is less. So it's just a lower terahash model. Okay. D3 is the Dash machine. Oh, wow. They stopped selling this for a while, and now I see they're starting to sell it again. But Dash used to make a lot of money, but they flooded the market with too many of them, and so the income went down. So they don't make much anymore. And X3 is a newer kind. This mines Monero. So if you heard of Monero, that's what the X3s are. Okay, and then here is it's a like an internet router that you can mine with as well. Okay, all right. So here, this is brand new. This just came out this week. This is an Ethereum based ASIC machine. Normally, when you mine Ethereum, you have to use GPU, the graphic cards, and Bitmain has now created an ASIC machine that's for Ethereum, which uses the right here the ET hash algorithm. Okay, and the price is really good, but look at this, they don't ship until July. Okay, it's a long time from now. in the crypto world, 1 month is a long time. A lot of things can happen in 1 month. I mean, look at Bitcoin price, from December until now, right? It was like 20 grand, and now it's down to like, a little bit less than $7,000. So, all right. And so here's BW. Okay, this is the Litecoin machine that I have a lot of. Okay, BWs, they mostly deal in bulk, so you have to order like 100 at a time. I know they recently outsourced to another company that does smaller, like per machine cells, but I know, yeah, a lot of time they do a bulk sell. Okay. Here's BW GPU miner. So these are like graphic cards here. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Here's another company Canon, the machine is called Avalon. This is a Bitcoin machine as well. This competes with the Antminer S9. Okay. Again, you want to check their price and calculate dollar per terahash and see. But Avalon is known for its reliability, so they have a 2-year warranty versus like Bitmain and BW. They only have a 6-month warranty. Okay, so these guys run way better, much higher quality. Their price is a little bit higher, but like I said, they're better quality. Okay, and yeah, they all of their machines, they're all whether it's 821 or 840, 840, is the higher terahash one. They're all Bitcoin mining machines. Okay? So if you look at this right here, the 841, it's 1600, right? Versus the S9, it's a little bit cheaper. All right. Here's another Bitcoin mining machine company called What's Miner. And they're also, competition as well. They're also very reliable. And yeah, so they are based in China. The guy who runs the US like sort of resell, actually, I know him. And so that's another brand. Okay, it's also a very good brand. It's just not as popular. Antminer did such a great job at marketing, so it's so some of these guys you don't hear about them as much, but people buy them whenever they couldn't buy Antminers. And now that the Antminers are more available, you can actually buy it from Bitmain's website. But for a while there, it was extremely difficult to buy it from Bitmain's website, and that's why on the reseller market, those S9 went for like $5,000-$6,000. So back in December, if you were to try to buy an S9, you can't even find one for less than $5,000. Okay. All right, so here is a brand new competitor to the S9 called Dragon Mint. And this is a 16 terahash. Remember, the S9, the highest was 14 terahash, right? This one is 16 terahash. It is a little bit more expensive, but it is more it is more powerful. I don't know. It's they just people just started to receiving them this week. And so there's not a lot of stats on them yet. Okay, all of these miners are all in China. They dominate the world with that. Okay, let me see here. Okay, here's another company I want to show you. They also have good machines, but they are more expensive as well. So they don't. Let's see here. So here's another company. This company makes Litecoin machines. So they compete with the L3 machines, the L3 Plus. Okay, but their price is more expensive. And so here's like the the competitor. An L3 Plus is only 504 mega hash. This one's 620 mega hash. It costs a little bit more money. Okay, so this is a competitor of the L3. Go see here. You have this guy. This guy's basically like 2 of the A4 combined, right? So if you take 2 of that A4 plus combined, you get this guy A6. Okay, and they cost a little bit more. Again, you want to run your calculator and find out what that dollar per mega hash, so you can see if it's worth the money or not. Okay, so so as you can see, this is a dash miner, which is not. I don't recommend for you to be mining dash right now. They're not as profitable. Okay. This is another dash miner. So anyway, so they, there you have it. Different companies. Um, there are other ASICs, like other than the SHA 256 and script. Like I said, there's Dash, there's Monero, right? But the Bitcoin, Litecoin, those are the most common ones. Okay? And then GPUs, the major companies that makes GPUs is NVIDIA and AMD. And so if you have kids and they are into gaming, they'll let you know exactly what GPUs to get. But the one of the cards that's very popular for mining is this 1080 card. 1080 Ti and 1080 is is what's out like right now. 1080 Ti is the most powerful card right now. The GPU rig that you saw I had up there earlier is a 1080 rig. So I have several of these guys right here. Okay. And you can see some of their prices here per card. So I had one of this card. I had I think 3 of these guys, something like that. Okay. Oh yeah, and I had one of these guys too. So, and then AMD RX 580. It's another it's another card that a lot of people use for mining as well. Okay, so if the GPUs, they are a lot more work. They're not as plug and play as the ASIC machines are. Okay, with the ASIC machines, you plug the power in, you plug the network cable in, and you're done. With the GPU, basically you have to build your computer, configure it, tweak it, play with it, so it's a lot more work. I recommend that that you start out with the ASICs, unless you're technical and you want to get into the GPUs. GPUs have a much higher resale value. That's a good thing about them. Because a lot of people can use GPUs. Gamers can use GPUs. Animation studios like Pixar can use GPUs to render the animation. Research companies, lab can use GPUs to do their computation. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Dave asked, does this need an internet connection? The answer is yes, it does. It doesn't need a very powerful internet connection, but it does need an internet connection. It uses very little internet. Okay. All right. So I want to give you guys some homework to do. And next week we're gonna talk more about mining pools. We're actually gonna end this for this week right now. But I do have some homework for you. And your homework is to go and create an account on via BTC, okay, via btc.com. And I'm going to talk about these other websites next week, okay? And then And then you also if you don't already have a Coinbase account, I recommend you go ahead and sign up for one as well, or somewhere where you can have a wallet. Okay, um, yeah, Coinbase is a super easy site, so I normally recommend that. So that's your homework. Okay, let me name this homework instead. Okay. All right. If you wanna buy machines from me, just email me, and then yeah, we'll talk about uh, depending on what type of machines, where you're planning to run them. We'll talk how many. We'll talk about all of that. I'll guide you through all of that. Okay. um, Lauren asked, will one of these modules include financials and performer? The answer is yes. We will talk about that on the next one, when we talk about the different mining pools and stuff like that. Um, and yeah. um, Hold on real quick. Let me get some water. You know, earlier, yeah, if I one of the websites that was on here earlier, it's called what2mine.com. Okay, what2mine.com. So if you go to that website, let me close out some of these guys. Okay, this, let's say I'm gonna just show you. So when you go here, go to ASIC. Okay, and when you first load up the site, all of these will show as blue. Okay, so you're gonna click on them so that way only one of them shows up, so it's less confusing. So by default, they have the configuration based on the L3, the Antminer L3, and based on the Antminer S9. So you can leave those configurations the same. Okay, so let's say you want to know what an L3 makes. Okay, so you make sure that this is selected as blue. Everything else is not blue. Okay, we're gonna assume that your electricity is 10 cents per kilowatt hour. That's very common. Okay. So we'll just keep it as that, and we're going to click on calculate. So this website will tell you that if you were to mine Litecoin, okay, if you were to mine Litecoin, then you can expect to make gross $4.34 a day, and after electricity is about $2.42. Now, this calculation is based on the value of Litecoin right now, which is right up here, $117.36. Okay, back when we were in Dallas, I think Litecoin was at about $200 a coin, close to it. Okay, so it has come down. The last couple of weeks has been pretty brutal for crypto. But so when you're doing the calculation, it has a lot to do with when you cash out. If you cash out when the crypto is low, then you're gonna get a low amount. Let's say if you don't cash out until Litecoin goes back up to $200, then you can expect to almost double this amount. Okay. So the value of whatever coin that you're mining at that time is one way to look at what you can make. Another one that's a little bit harder to calculate is this difficulty level. Okay, the more difficult, the more that this difficulty level increases, the less coins, the more power that it takes, more computing power that it takes to earn the coins, and so so as difficulty increases, like as more people do mining, these difficulty will increase. That means you'll get less money. So let's say Litecoin never changes. Okay, let's say it stays at $117 from now until the end of 2018. Let's just make that assumption. Most likely, the difficulty is going to increase. So that means that your profit each day is going to decrease. Okay, if difficulty increase and the coin stays the same, value stays the same or lower, then your profit's going to decrease. Now, if the difficulty increase and the coin goes back up to, like, let's say $300, then your profit, most likely will increase because the value of the Litecoin is higher. Okay. Does each coin have a break-even cost points? What the price needs to be to pay for the investment? Yeah, so they it's a little bit difficult to calculate what your break-even cost point is, because you don't know how much this difficulty gonna increase, and you also don't know how much the coin's gonna be. So you can only guesstimate. Okay, but basically, like let's say if I say, okay, I want um, I'm gonna assume that my first calculation, I'm gonna assume that this coin stays the same the entire year. Okay, and so after electricity costs, it cost me about 22.42. Okay, so I mean so let's see how much that is. So I would take, if it cost me, let me use this calculator here. All right, so let's say, just for the sake of calculation, let's say it costs you $1,200 to buy a machine. Okay, that includes, let's just use that as an example, and it nets you $2.42. Then that means it takes 495 days for you to break even on the machine. Okay. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind is that if Litecoin goes up in value higher than this 117, then the number of days that it takes. So let's say if it doubles in value, let's say it goes to, let's say exactly double. Okay, 234 or something like that. So if I take that same 1,200 divided by that's roughly about $4.84. Okay, then it will take me 247 days, 248 days to break even. Okay, and so that's how you calculate it. One of the things that you have to remember too, also when you calculate, is that let's say after 1 year you decide not to mine anymore. Number one, you would have made some profit, and you can still resell the machine, like on eBay or on Craigslist, or Facebook Marketplace, one of those classified sites, you you will be able to um, recoup some of that initial investment that you put out as well. Okay. And so there's several factors, as you can see. There's several different factors to consider when looking at profit and such. And then if you're willing to play around, like do more work instead. So I'll give you an example. Instead of mining Litecoin, like today, Verge is another cryptocurrency, earns more money. So Verge is earning $3.72 per day after the electricity cost, which is more than what Litecoin makes, right? So now there are days that Verge doesn't make more than Litecoin. There's days that Litecoin makes more, but today Verge makes more. So if you were to change your mining over to Verge instead of Litecoin, then that will also shorten up your, you are able to shorten up your break-even point as well. Okay. But these numbers changes all the time. This website, they update it, I don't know, every few minutes or so. So maybe the next hour you come up, Verge might not be number one anymore, or tomorrow you come back, Verge might not be number one anymore. But right now, as it stands right now, Verge is the better coin to mine right now. Okay. You can always mine Verge and then sell it and trade it in for Litecoin or Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever else you want to trade it in for. So you're not stuck with mining just Litecoin. A lot of people stick with Litecoin is because it's the most consistent. They don't have to make changes every day. But if you're willing to go in and make changes each day, then then you can make a lot more money that way. That's a long answer to your question of how you calculate break-even points. All right, Dave asks, are these machines Wi-Fi? The answer is no. They run on an Ethernet cable, not Wi-Fi. Okay. All right. Any other questions, y'all, for today? We're going to go in a lot more about mining pools and stuff next week. Okay. But for this week, yeah, take a look at that, and then installed crypto tab. Install the crypto tab extension and run that. Okay. Or maybe even the Mac Miner and Easy Miner for Windows. Okay. So most likely you guys don't have any specific mining machines yet. So practice it. Find a I hope you have an old computer that you haven't been using. Put it to work, or even it doesn't have to be an old computer. It could be whatever computer you have right now. But if you don't want it to disturb your normal computer usage, then you can use an old computer. If you don't mind, then that's fine. You can play around with that. So that's your homework, okay? So go do that. I expect you to do your homework. And I'll send out the replay of this link of this video tomorrow. And if you need any help, definitely connect with me on the. Go ahead and join the Discord channel. Email me if you need help, and we'll go from there. All right, everybody. Any one last question for now before we go? Okay. All right. All right. Thank you so much for being on this call. Thank you so much for investing in this. I hope you enjoy this. Hope you can make a lot of money with this. So, yay. All right. Talk to you guys next week. Bye bye for now.